it's Meg, and it's that time of the week again where we get to talk about the best show on television, AMC's The Walking Dead. Today we are talking about Season 5, Episode 4, called Slabtown. What did you guys think of this episode last night? First off, does anybody remember those funny sayings you would say when you would answer the phone as a kid if you wanted to prank someone, and you would pick up the phone and you'd be like, "City Morgue, you stab 'em, we slab 'em." I kept thinking about that. Am I the only one who remembers that? Maybe you guys aren't old enough to remember that, or maybe I'm just crazy, but every time I hear the name Slabtown, that's what I think of. What did you guys think of the episode last night? I loved seeing Beth again. She's one of my favorite characters, not my most favorite, but you know, I definitely wanted to see how she fended for herself on her own with no one from the group to protect her. And I really enjoyed the episode. I liked that she has learned things from our group and from being, you know, in this apocalypse for 2 years, and she's learned things that have helped keep her alive, and she is determined to get out of this place. I really enjoyed the episode. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. To start off, the episode starts off in the past, the point where Daryl and her get separated. And throughout the episode, we see it catch up to present time where Carol and Daryl have now been separated. So it's kind of neat to see the length of time that Beth has been there and kind of what's been going on, the most important things that have been going on with her. Most importantly, her attempted escape, which we will talk about a little bit later. Start off, we find out that Beth has, as she was escaping the cemetery house, the funeral home, she was fighting off walkers and she fell and she hit her head, and then she was saved by these cops. She doesn't remember being saved by them, but apparently they drove up just in time and saved her. She wakes up in a hospital. She sees the destruction of Atlanta for the very first time since she was on the farm when everything happened. And she meets Dawn and Dr. Edwards. Is that what his name was? Stephen Edwards? I think so. Correct me if I'm wrong. But she meets them, and she's very wary of the fact that she is in a hospital, dressed in a hospital gown, and she has an IV sticking out of her arm, and I think she's, you know, pretty freaked out. It probably feels very weird to be in a somewhat working hospital where it almost seems like, you know, time has forgotten that, or this hospital has forgotten that there was an apocalypse going on outside. It's just weird. Everything's very clean and neat. She meets Dawn. Dawn explains to her, you know, that they found her, and she, quote, says, "If we hadn't saved you, you'd be one of them right now, so you owe us." And that's kind of our very first hint that this hospital is probably not quite the best place for Beth to be. Slowly throughout Beth's stay, she realizes that there is no getting out of this place. It is more like an indentured servitude where you are supposedly working off your debt, but they keep adding to your debt. Everything you eat, everything you need from them, any kind of medical help you need from them adds to your debt, and you pretty much will never get free. We meet a new character, Noah, and you know, Beth asks him if Joan, and Joan, if you don't remember, is the girl who had her arm cut off because she had been bitten. She says if Joan had stayed and worked a little while, couldn't she have just left? And Noah says, "I haven't seen it work like that yet." And he tells her that he's been there for about a year. And so I think she's, you know, she's realizing that this place is, you know, not a place to be, and she is going to have to escape rather than wait to be let free, because they're not going to let her go easily. We see this elevator shaft where they dispose of their bodies. Now, halfway through the episode, when Noah and Beth are trying to escape and they go down there, there are a lot of bodies down there, which I think is yet another clue that there is no getting out of this place alive. You are either, you know, you pretty much die here no matter what. And they, you know, it looks like this system of these cops are going out looking for people to help and to save, only to have, you know, essentially they're looking for more slaves. I mean, that's what it feels like. They're looking for people to, you know, to help that will then owe them quite a bit and end up working for them forever. And it appears that they're only picking weak people that they think won't fight back. You know, they're not picking strong people to capture and help. So we meet Dawn, the leader. She's apparently barely the leader. She seems to be very OCD and also very violent. We see her smack Beth for no reason when she is upset over one of the people, which we later find out is the doctor that they're trying to save. So she seems very volatile, unpredictable, and yet very predictable in the fact that she has extreme OCD. We meet Gorman, one of the cops that saved Beth, probably the creepiest cop we will run across in this show. And we find out that these cops are not nice guys. When we meet the Joan character, she is found. It looks like she tried to escape. She has a bite on her arm, and they have to cut off her arm by using like wire or something. It's awful. I just can't even imagine having to do that. And there's a quick conversation between her and Dawn before they cut off her arm. And I don't know if you guys heard it or not clearly, but I listened to it again and I wrote it down exactly what she says. And it kind of says a lot about the system that they're running here at the hospital. Joan says, "I'm not going back to them." And then Dawn says, "You don't have to." And Joan says, "You can't control them." And Dawn says, "I will." So there's kind of a thing there where Dawn, it appears, is almost feeling sad, feeling sorry for Joan. Like she says, "You don't have to go back to them." And it's implied that them is the cops, the men here that are running this place. And we only officially meet Gorman, who, we put two and two together, and essentially he's been raping Joan and doing God knows what to her, because he tries to do it to Beth. And, you kind of realize what kind of horrors Joan went through, because she knew that she couldn't get out. They cut off her arm. She really felt like she couldn't get out, and that it was such a horrible place that she went and she took her life. She killed herself rather than go back to Gorman and go back to what she was going through. That tells a lot. That really tells us that she felt like there was no escape, and whatever she was going through was really bad. There's another portion where the Dr. Edwards, we think that he's a good guy. We kind of are starting to think, in the episode that maybe he'll help Beth escape. He seems to kind of be a friend to Beth, and he frames her for the death of this guy that they were helping. And it turns out this guy was some sort of doctor that Dawn really wanted to save. And Dr. Edwards knew that he was a doctor. He knew him from wherever, from his practice before all of this happened. And he on purpose told Beth to give him the wrong medicine so that he would die. And then Beth realizes, Beth's a smart girl. She has a little bit of medical knowledge, not a lot, but a little bit from her father. And she's a smart girl. She knows when she's being played, and she knows that Dr. Edwards framed her for this. So again, we see that she doesn't trust him anymore. We meet Noah. We find out a little bit about Noah. Seems like a really good kid in an unfortunate circumstance, stuck here at the hospital. He's been here for about a year. And he came from a town in Virginia, and he said that they had a big wall. We know from spoiler, turn away now if you don't want to hear this. I followed a little bit of filming news throughout the summer where they were building a wall, and there's hints that we are going to see the Alexandria safe zone in either, I don't know, I didn't really follow any filming after that, so I don't know if we're going to see it in the second half of season 5 here or in next season, but I do know that they were building the set, and so if they're building the set, it's possible that we are probably going to see it towards the second half of season 5. But it sounds like Noah came from Alexandria, and the hospital cops took him but didn't take his uncle because his uncle was, too strong and would have fought back, and they perceived Noah as weak. Noah and Beth come up with a plan to escape, and they put their plan into action. It goes pretty well at first. Beth is able to get the elevator key from Dawn's office. She discovers that Joan has killed herself in there, and Joan turns into a walker just in time to save Beth from the creepy hospital cop Gorman, and Gorman gets eaten, which he totally deserved. I was really happy we didn't have to continue to see his face in the rest of the episodes. He was disgusting, such a creep. She, you know, she escapes with Noah, and she's shooting these walkers at the bottom of the elevator shaft, and you're like, go Beth, since when can she shoot so well? I had no idea, but it was awesome. And they escape, and it looks like everything is going good, and she kind of hesitates a moment because Noah's behind her and she's shooting the walkers. And Noah, oh Noah, you're gonna have to redeem yourself for me, because I was not happy that he left her, and I probably would have done the same thing, and maybe she would have done the same thing, but I was so frustrated. Beth gets recaptured and Noah goes free. And, you know, you can see that she's happy that he at least escaped, but, yo, it was so frustrating because she was so close to escaping. And so she gets recaptured, and Dawn hits her over the head out of anger, and flash forward to probably a few days later, she's in the doctor's office, and, you know, we see this little bit of a time jump here, and he says in a few more days you'll be ready to get back to work. So once again, she's gonna owe more time. And I think at this point she is fed up. She has had absolutely enough of this place, and she's gonna get the hell out of here no matter what. You know, she has nothing else to live for except to escape or die trying. Like, there's no staying in this place. And she gets the scissors for the bandages that were in Dr. Edwards' office. And she goes out, and she is determined, man. I think she's gonna kill the doctor, because, you know, he framed her so that he could be the only doctor in the facility, so that Dawn would protect him and keep him safe. And Beth is not thrilled with that. That's not something you do in Beth's book. You don't frame people. So I really think that she had intentions of taking him out and causing, you know, doing whatever kind of damage she could do before she was either taken down or she could escape. You know, she was not going to let him live. And then, shocker, they wheel in a new person, and it is Carol on the stretcher. Now, I know that Carol was going to get captured because I watched the New Zealand promo for this episode, and so they show it. I don't know why New Zealand shows everything ahead of time, but I'm probably not going to watch any more of those kinds of promos anymore, because I would have liked to have been shocked at seeing that Carol has been captured. But Beth just looks at her like, okay, the plans have now changed. And it's almost a good thing Beth didn't escape, because if Beth had escaped with Noah, she would have never known that Carol was there. Hopefully she can help Carol escape, or Carol can help her escape. Hopefully Carol doesn't have too much damage done to her. Oh, I was kind of hoping that maybe Carol's just faking being injured. I don't know, we'll see. Such a cliffhanger yet again. Were you guys surprised that Carol showed up at the hospital? I would have really liked to have been surprised with that. But now we know that when Daryl comes out of the woods, he is not with Carol, he's not with Beth, and he has someone with him. My guess is it's probably Noah. You know, I think that based on comic spoilers, so turn away now if you don't want any comic spoilers, but I think based on what we know from the comics, that Rick's group eventually ends up at the Alexandria safe zone. I think that this is how they're tying it in. Somehow Noah has come from that place and is going to try and get back to it. Hopefully when Daryl and Carol are chasing the medical car, hopefully that leads them to Noah, or maybe Noah stole a car or something, and that was Noah speeding away in the car. We don't know. But somehow Carol and Daryl hopefully chase him down, I'm guessing. Maybe chase something down, and somehow Carol gets caught and taken, and Daryl and Noah maybe come back for help. I don't know. It would make sense to me though, and then eventually once they get Carol and Beth back, hopefully none of them die in the process. I really don't want that to happen. I love both Carol and Beth. But hopefully the group can get them back, and then they will all go to Alexandria and live happily ever after. I don't know how Abraham's group is going to get back to them, or how they're going to meet up with Abraham's group, but yeah, that's for another episode. Let me know in the comments below if you guys like this review. Give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet, and I will see you guys soon for my dead ahead predictions for next week's episode 505. I don't even know what it's called. I think it's called self-help. Anyways, I'll be doing a predictions video on that. If you are still with me, I would absolutely love it if you checked out my good friend Ashley's videos. She, amongst many other things, she also does videos on The Walking Dead. She posts live reactions, and I really want you guys to check her out and help her grow her channel